What a day to be outside, especially this time of year with all that heat. Last week, how about 76 degrees? The humidity is high and very little wind blowing in out of the northeast, so that'll help keep us on the cool side. Here's the A's lineup today against Randy Dobnak, and the key against them is to keep the ball in the ballpark. They are 5th in the American League in home runs. They have 14 over their last 9, and they've hit 4 home runs in this series, including a 2-run home run in the 9th inning last night by Max Muncy. And the A's will be facing Randy Dobnak.
Well, if you want to keep the ball in the ballpark, Ryan, this is the guy to do it. 1 home run allowed in 6 starts. And how about this? In the second half, his 1.69 ERA in 6 starts is the 2nd lowest ERA only to Troy Melton of the Tigers in all of Major League Baseball. That is how good Randy Dobnak has been with the Royals. Take a look at his pitches, and we'll see this afternoon. He is a sinker ball pitcher, wants to keep it on the ground. Sweeper, changeup, 4-seam slider. He mixes it up well, but really relies on the sinking fastball. He's not going to blow you away with it, but he's going to tantalize you, get you to hit the top half of it, and let his Gold Glove defense behind him do the work. Now, speaking of that defense, it's nice to have a complete defense behind him, and with the return of Michael Garcia at third base and Bobby Witt Jr., you have an all-gold left-hand side. Michael Massey at second, Salvi at first, Luke Mailey doing the catching, and Isaac Collins, Tolbert, and Lofton in the outfield.
Here's the crew chief, Andy Fletcher, inspired by his father, Reiner, who is a high school referee, and Andy's in his 28th year. And Corey Blazer, as a 15-year-old, was looking for a summer job and became an umpire, and now he's been a big league umpire for 15 seasons. So there you go, kids. Summer job might turn into a career. Ball 1 on Henry Bolte, who has impressed the Royals with his defense, his at-bats, and his speed. He's 4 for 12 in the series with 3 runs scored. Going the other way and hitting it through the smoke. And we mentioned the high humidity on a cooler type day, but the pregame fireworks, the humidity is holding the smoke for the time being within the stadium confines.
It sure was. Looked down and it looked like a fire was burning inside the stadium.
1-2.
Well, that's the pitch right there. That good sinker, middle down, gets a swing through. Randy Dobnak is not a strikeout pitcher. There's 25 punch outs and 41 2/3. With the way he gets ground balls, he doesn't have to get strikeouts.
We were talking before the game. There's never a time that you don't want a fast worker and contact pitcher on the mound, but you especially want a guy like this in a day game after a night game in mid to late August.
Well, heads up for the Athletics. They're traveling to Houston. They may be in more swing mode themselves on a getaway day, on top of having a single baller pitcher.
That's Bolte's 5th hit of the series.
Well, now it's a 6-game hitting streak for Henry Bolte. Gotten over 450 during that streak. He just continues to find ways. Doesn't try to do too much. Doesn't have to with that speed. If he can keep the ball on the ground, much like Chandler Simpson for the Tampa Bay Rays, or even our own Bobby Witt Jr., balls on the ground translate to a lot of base hits.
Jeff McNeil has 5 hits in the series and 4 runs driven in. Ground balls did not go Seth Lugo's way yesterday. He gave up 2 runs, 3 hits in the first inning, 3 more runs in the 5th, and a lot of those were balls on the ground.
And they sure were. Good approaches by the entire lineup, and especially this guy right here, McNeil, his former teammate. Athletics have good power, but overall they're just trying to put the ball in play, station to station, and Seth Lugo talked about it in his postgame. Overall, he felt good about the performance. 5 earned runs is more than he would have liked to have given up, but the way he kept it on the ground, we know that that can change your fortunes in a heartbeat if you keep guys down. Good pitch right there, a good sweeper under the hands of McNeil. So he has to contend. If you're the hitter, you have to contend about that pitch going east and west. The last 2 pitches have gone away from him. This one, it's about halfway to the plate and starts taking a nosedive towards his back foot.
Salvi's got it. He'll go for the lead runner. Back to Salvi in time. 3-6-3.
What a burger, what a play. It's Salvador Perez. Got some early work today at first base. Fields it, thinks about going to first for a split second, but realizes with that hot shot, better off going to second first and then clipping McNeil on the back end. It's 102 ground ball double plays, second in Major League Baseball that these Royals pitchers have induced on the season. And on the flip side of that, the Athletics have grounded into 99 double plays, fourth most in the major leagues.
That right there is 100% Salvador Perez. During the play, he handles it like a pro, acts like it's no big deal, but then the emotion of the play comes down and he's crossing himself and giving praise upstairs as if he was lucky to make that play with a big smile on his face.
Let's see, does Salvi have a smile today? Is he happy to play baseball? Yeah, he is. Just like he has every single day of his entire life.
And now 3-1 on Zach Geloff. He's been on base 5 times in the series. Inside for a 2-out walk, and Dobnak doesn't give up many of those. And that'll bring up Lawrence Butler, who is in there as the designated hitter today. He's their regular right fielder, and Mark Kotze's had to move a lot of pieces around because he has arguably his best bats right now on the injured list. At least 4 of his best bats. And that would include his regular DH, Brent Rooker, who's out with surgery on his left knee. Off the end of the bat and dropping into left field. And that's Butler's 5th hit of the series. And the A's have 2 on with 2 out.
Well, we've seen a couple of golf shots during the series, and I don't know if Lawrence Butler's talking about his hand hurting after getting extended there, or it looks like he might be saying that hurt a little bit. Good changeup from Dobnak. Great pitch to get a rollover changeup, but a rollover ground ball that is. But Lawrence Butler keeps his hands through the baseball, behind the baseball, which allows him to flip it into left field versus rolling it over, and he's still feeling the effects of that pitch.
And a hitter will admit how much it hurts if they get a hit. But if he broke his bat on that and hit a routine ground ball, he would not want Randy Dobnak to know that his hand was buzzing. 0-1 on Max Muncy, who made things interesting in the 9th inning last night. Royals had a 4-run lead going into the 9th, and then with 2 outs and nobody on, the A's scored 2 runs on a home run by Muncy. So then suddenly they were 1 base runner away from bringing the tying runner to the plate. But Steven Cruz closed it out with a ground out against Henry Bolte. Inside 2-1. Speaking about sore hands, Max Muncy has broken his right hand in 3 straight seasons, being hit by a pitch, and he has both of his hands guarded with pads. There's a good looking pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
If you're a hitter, that's the most susceptible part on your body, it feels, is those hands and fingers. That's where you don't want to get hit. Cost you weeks or months at a time on a fastball that gets away from a pitcher, and pitchers tend to use fastballs in that area quite a bit.
3-2.
See this slider? So if that's a sinker coming back, Max Muncy's walking back to the dugout, able to pick up the spin just in time to be able to hold back from swinging. And a good slider off.
Runners go, and Dobnak gets a strikeout. And it ended up being a long inning, but it's a scoreless top of the first. And today, the Royals will get their first look at left-hander Gage Jump.
The fan favorite pretzel bacon pub cheese
To face rookie left-hander Gage Jump. Maley will catch today, batting ninth, giving Carter Jensen the day off, and Salvy's playing at first base. Gage Jump is a subject of our Xfinity player profile. A second-round pick out of LSU a couple of years ago. He made his big league debut on May 26th and got his first win in his very next start. He started his career at UCLA and had Tommy John surgery, and when he came back from Tommy John surgery, he decided he wanted to pitch for the LSU Tigers, where he was a teammate of Tommy White, who is now with the A's.
One of the highly recruited left-handed pitchers out of Southern California. Aliso Viejo, 23 years old. Gage Jump.
Right center field, and carrying Bolte gets there and then bangs into the wall.
I'll tell you what, if you are a long-time Royals fan, you might have had shades of Willie Wilson or Lorenzo Cain. You see the way that Henry Bolte ranges, long strides, gets to the warning track and starts to pick up the fence.
Did he face plant? What's the end of this play?
Yeah. He braced himself. But he took the exit ramp.
Ball one on Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby has 4 hits, 3 walks in the series, and 5 runs scored. One of those hits was a walk-off single in the 9th inning on Tuesday.
So let's take a look at Gage Jump's pitch selection. Fastball is going to run mid-90s, mid to upper 90s. He's got a great arm. You'll see him short arm kind of mechanics. Slider and curveball, he can really spin it. The changeup is the pitch he is working on. They feel like if he can get that changeup, similar to what you saw last night, if he can utilize that changeup well, he could really make it tough on hitters' lives. Right now he's primarily fastball spin, but he'll mix it in, trying to use it a little bit more and more each and every start. The way last night Jeffrey Springs kept Royals hitters off balance with a good changeup. That's what they're looking for from Gage Jump, but he's always had a power arm. See him kind of short arm it well, makes it a little bit tough for hitters to pick up on. Doesn't drop the arm or the ball out of the glove very far, but kind of takes it more right up behind the ear.
Backdoor slider, 3-2.
Likes to elevate the fastball ahead in the count or drop a back foot slider.
Out over the plate and out over the wall. Bobby Witt Jr. has another home run in the series, and the Royals lead 1-0.
Well, I think Jr. might have got the same scouting report that we have up here. Loves to elevate the fastball. Bobby Witt Jr. sitting all over it. It's a good one. It's up the top of the zone, but Bobby Witt Jr. is up for the task. You see that pitch, borderline strike, 94 miles per hour. It's the top hand on top of it. And drives it into the left field bullpen, 402 feet on the fly.
That's 3 home runs in his last 5 games. Before that, he had hit 1 home run in his previous 25 games.
Well, we were talking about, would he be able to reach that 20-20 plateau again, which he's done in his. Oh, here's Maikel Garcia flipping one into left.
That'll be an easy double for him. So the Royals have a line out to the wall in right center field, a home run, and now a double against Jump.
Garcia's 6th hit since coming off the IL. 6 hits in just 3+ games. It's the breaking ball. He's out front. He's fooling a little bit. But the way he keeps his hands back, you know he's got that right center approach, allows him to keep the barrel in the zone long enough to make good contact. Well, yeah, like I was saying, talking about could Bobby get to 20 with that big home run drought, and now suddenly a week later he's got 3 home runs, and it would seem as though he would easily reach 20. Time will tell.
That's going to be off of Hernay's glove, and Maikel Garcia is going to be caught off of third base, and I think he hurt himself. And remember, in the Texas series, there was a play when he was running from second to third, and about halfway in between second and third base, he grabbed his hamstring. He never went on the injured list for that, but he was out for a while. But something grabbed him coming around third, and that's painful for him and for the Royals, because the Royals lose a runner on the bases.
It certainly was. No one there to cover third base, so Garcia's thinking about scoring. It didn't even look like he got held up, and you see right there he doesn't get back to third base, and I think that's more out of frustration than anything. He knows his leg is hurt, the hamstring gave out. Didn't really make an attempt, but you can imagine having come off the IL just 4 games ago. Frustrating for him, and it's too bad. Looked like he might have been being waved home even. He decided to pull up, and once he put the brake on, it appeared to give out.
How much effort do you want to put into a rundown when you realize you've lost your hamstring? Might just make it worse.
Yeah, no, I think that's a smart play on his part.
And now Vinny hits a pop-up to Hernay's, and the A's shortstop has it. So that play in third ended up being a big one. The Royals get 1 on the Bobby Witt Jr. home run.
Gannon.
Well, unfortunately, with Maikel Garcia coming out of the game, the Royals lose their third baseman, but Nick Lofton has been spending a lot of time at third this year with Maikel out. John Rave enters the game in right. That's where Lofton was playing. As Randy Dobnak goes back to work. Nick was sharing with us by way of wireless microphone before yesterday's game, when we were talking about moving all over the field, and third base has not been a huge adjustment for him because he's a natural shortstop, so he's used to the ball off the bat on the left side of the infield. Sometimes that helps if the infielder moves to the outfield on that same side. But yesterday at second base, he said the ball comes off the bat differently when you're on the right side, and his arm angle is different throwing as a second baseman as opposed to third or the outfield.
A lot of changes in footwork as well. You got to get everything lined up properly from the shoulders to the hips and make that throw. So the way you shuffle your feet in preparation of a throw varies dramatically.
Cortez slaps it to left, and he's on with a leadoff single. So that's 3 hits and a walk for the A's against Randy Dobnak.
That's a nice approach. Here's a changeup up in the zone. Cortez, you can tell, is not trying to pull the baseball or get big on the swing. He's trying to stay short and compact, and that's a good approach against a sinker baller. The moment you try to overswing is when you start hitting the top third of the baseball and creating all kinds of ground ball situations.
Ryan Serven takes a strike. He was behind the plate Monday in game 1 and was 1 for 4 with a home run. Had a 2-run home run against Michael Wacha. 0-2. Fastball, and down goes Serven, and Dobnak strikes out his second.
Well, nice job by Luke Maile and Randy Dobnak went with the four-seam fastball, called for it up in the zone, and Dobnak put it exactly where Luke Maile wanted it. Perfect pitch. You get so accustomed to seeing balls down in the zone, balls down in the zone. That ball must have looked an extra couple of miles an hour faster up in the zone.
Donovan Walton takes ball one. Foul tip. 1 ball, 1 strike.
This is the 9th outing for Dobnak with the Royals. In 4 of those, he's been scoreless, or allowed 0 runs, better said.
Just outside, 2-1.
Just done a phenomenal job. He's made it look very easy. Attacking hitters. The last 3 starts, in fact, he's at a 70% first pitch strike rate, so he's really been attacking recently.
And that's a little bit outside, 3-1. He really hasn't had a bad start for the Royals, unless you consider against the Cubs a good offense. 4 runs over 5 innings. I wouldn't call that bad, but for his standards this year, maybe. Otherwise, his ERA is under 1. Cortez runs, and that is ball 4. Dobnak walks his second, and the A's have 2 on, 1 out.
You said it. For his standards, that was a horrific outing. He had allowed as many runs in 5 innings as he had in his other 36 plus. But you're right, 4 runs against a playoff caliber team. He didn't have his best stuff, but certainly didn't surrender amount of runs that put the game out of reach for the Royals.
All right, why do you think Luke Maile wanted to go to the mound here?
Well, he's missing off the plate a little bit. You can see him, hey, just be down in the zone, middle of the plate. Right now he's kind of stretching east and west. That's not a great spot for a sinker baller to be. You want to be north and south for the most part, and then once you establish down middle, you can expand left and right. So for me, just watching Dobnak here in the first 4 outs of the game, you can see he's letting balls kind of start on that outer third, and they're running off the plate. Athletics are showing some patience right now, so you got to get in the zone early, especially, and then let them expand.
And Hernandez takes a fastball for a strike. He's played very little in the series. He is 0 for 4. Dobnak already has 1 ground ball double play. That was in the first inning. It was not a routine double play at all. And there's a ground ball that Junior gets on, and he'll play to first, and Salvi saves a run by leaving the bag, and that actually might have hit Hernandez. But Junior looked to second, didn't like the look, and then tried to get an out at first.
We got to give credit to Donovan Walton. He hustled down to second base, and Bobby had second base on his mind the entire time. Makes a great play. He's got a shorter throw to second, so that was his first instinct. But because Walton got a good break, wasn't able to make it, and there it was. Yeah, Hernandez is the one that saved the run. It gets by Salvi. Hernandez's foot blocks it, and that saves a run for now for the Royals. But a nice job by Bobby Witt Jr. to get to the baseball. It was just that little hesitation, thinking second first, that allowed Hernandez to get down the line.
It's ruled an infield hit. And now Bolte with the bases loaded, 1 out. And Dobnak's ahead 0-2, and Bolte goes down to his knees.
Well, with a sinker baller, you're going to get a lot of these throughout the game. Fouled off. He's got the protection on his shin, but that catches the inside part of the foot. For Bolte, that's not a place you want to get hit. He relies on the feet and legs as a big part of his game.
Bases loaded, 1 out.
Probably might go back with a sinker. You don't want to go with slider here. Something going away from the hitter. allows him to be more relaxed, worried about that foot, but something hardened in, whether it's a four-seam up or a sinker in, probably a good spot.
High target, and he didn't get him to chase, as he did with Brian Servin earlier in the inning, going with a four-seam fastball up with 2 strikes.
Executed very well, exactly what you said, Ryan. Had that sequence with Servin, was able to get a swing and miss, which we're looking for here with the bases loaded, less than 2 outs. And then right back towards that back foot or that front foot. So Bolte is trying to earn himself something more middle. Dobnak still has the advantage here. 2-2.
Pitch number 20 in the inning, and it's grounded foul, and 42 pitches for the game, and an inning and a third as 6 of the 9 A's reached. First time to the order. Fortunately for Dobnak, every hit has been a single, and he got that double play in the top of the first. And Bolte takes a called 3rd strike. That's huge. 2 down.
When he goes a front door sweeper, he's gone fastball up and in, sinker low and in. So he starts that on the inside part of the plate, bends back, drops down middle, and Bolte's frozen. So that foul ball off the foot may have caused a little hesitation pulling the trigger on a pitch close to his body.
I'm going to bring up Jeff McNeil, who hit it right on the nose first time up, but he hit it right to Salvi, who went into catcher slash hockey goalie mode to make the play at first base and start an impressive 3-6-3 double play. One and one.
The more we see of McNeil, the more I almost feel like you're better off throwing a pitch that catches more of the plate than not. If it's up and away, he slaps it to left. If it's low and in, he golfs it to right. I wouldn't say he's a bad ball hitter, but the way he's going in the second half, 26 games since the All-Star break, 386. He's swinging the bat like a former NL batting champion.
He has 4 RBIs in the series. Grounded foul, 2-2. He swings the bat a lot. So does his teammate Jacob Wilson, who's been out with a sore shoulder during this series. Big swing and big contact. We'll see Ernie Clement in Toronto on the next trip. Right side, Salvi blocks it, feeds Dobnak, inning over. And that was a tough hop for Salvi, but the Royals get the final out, and the A's leave the bases loaded.
Unbelievable.
Play the Royals 50-50 raffle, and you could win big for a great cause. We announce winners during every single home game. Half of the proceeds go to you, and half go to the Royals Foundation and their missions. So you can play here at the ballpark or online at royals.com/5050. And the pot is already over $6,000, and we're only in the bottom of the second inning. Foul tip, and 1-1 on Isaac Collins, who was part of the 7-run 8th inning. Driving in a run with a sacrifice fly. That drove in the tying run.
It was a real nice swing from Isaac Collins. Hopefully that can get him going here on a nice little stretch. He's been much better at home. 267 at home. Just a $186 on the road, but the Royals would love nothing more than to see Isaac Collins get in the groove offensively.
Shallow right, and Cortez makes the catch, and Bolt taking nothing for granted with the sun out that right fielder could lose it in the sun at any moment. He ran all the way over just in case.
That's a nice center fielder backing up his right fielder. Like you said, with as much sun as there is on a day game here at Kauffman Stadium, take nothing for granted.
And the shadows would tell you that the sun part of the field right now would be left field. Bolte could have some trouble if he was pursuing a ball in right center and looking up into the sun. Tyler Tolbert hasn't played a lot in the series, but he's had a huge impact. He had the game-tying hit and the comeback win on Tuesday, and then he had a walk that resulted in scoring the first go-ahead run on the 3-run double by Rave and the Royals' 7-run 8th inning. 1-2.
You just continue to see Tyler Tolbert's confidence grow, as well it should. He's got a lot of experience this season. It's been one of the positive side effects of some of the injuries the Royals have endured. And just watching him go around, whether it's pregame or in the middle of the game, he looks like a guy that I would say finally knows and feels as though he belongs and can contribute. Just you can see it in his face. Not that he didn't feel confident before, but there's a difference once you've been able to be a part of the lineup for as long as he was and contribute like he did and set records like he did. Even he was on that heater in early July.
12 for 12. 3 balls, 2 strikes. His OPS is still at 832, powered partially by the 12 for 12. That is low, and he has a walk.
If there's one thing right now that Jump wants to improve on, that is his walk rate. That has shot up in his last 8 starts. He's seen his walk rate nearly double, from low 6s up to 15%, so it doesn't allow a lot of hits. He's been giving out some free passes. He's the type of pitcher who doesn't have to work around the zone. He's got good stuff. Take a look at that. First 7 starts. Pretty nice job. 6.3, well below league average. Now 15.2 in his last 8, including 2+ in each of his last 8 starts. That comes along with young pitching. You start to learn and get a feel, understand the way to navigate a lineup. Start to recognize that your pitches do play even at this level. He's just 23 years young, so his rookie season getting a chance to get his feet wet.
Tolbert on first, movement, swipes second base. No challenge.
The pitch is called to strike. The batter's challenging.
So this is one of those testers that we were learning about at the beginning of ABS. ABS is powered by
Kansas City has 1 remaining.
ABS is powered by T-Mobile, but how do umpires handle multiple challenges? And the reason that's important is because the hitters and the catchers are encouraged to challenge immediately. But what happens if there's a play going on at the same time? Massey pulls it on the ground to second. McNeil stumbled a bit going back to first, but he's there in time. And the reason why they want the catcher and the hitter to challenge as quickly as possible to just eliminate any chance of someone relaying from a dugout or elsewhere, hey, challenge there, because they can see whether it was a ball or a strike.
Yeah, so even with the stolen base, the play goes on. You got to anticipate and finish the play. That's what all the players are kind of getting used to. I think at this point it probably feels pretty normal to complete the play and challenge as well as throw all at the same time, and umpires are learning as well how it all works.
Luke Maile with Tolbert at third base and 2 down. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Take a look here. Everything happening all at once. Fastball up in the zone. Massey challenges. Servin catches the ball, doesn't try to frame it, makes the throw to second. Thought we might have a double challenge for a second, but Tolbert was in there safely.
The one that was of more concern is if the catcher was challenging, because you can imagine the pitch is coming in, and with the runner going, their attention shifts to the base runner, not framing it or seeing if it's a strike. Once they throw down to second base, will they remember to challenge? And then you have to wait until the play's over, until the catcher turns around and says, oh, by the way, I want to challenge. And then the umpire has to determine whether the delay was because of the throw down to second base, or there was a delay because in the meantime somebody yelled something from the dugout and told him to challenge.
And that's obviously tough for the catcher, because he now is at the mercy of the umpire. If the umpire says, well, you didn't challenge in time, it's his judgment call. There is no real protection for the catcher. But
a strikeout for Jump, his first, and the Royals strand Tolbert at third base.
Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Randy Dobnak on the mound this afternoon for the Royals. And talk about fitting in seamlessly with a team. Randy Dobnak has done just that with the Royals. And I think Q said it best today. This team is full of guys that take their job seriously, but not themselves too seriously. And Randy certainly fits that bill and fits right in with this group. And it makes for a fun, confident group. And as we've seen recently, a re-energized group, which has been really fun to be around. And as for Randy, he's been the type of guy who the Royals have just come to rely on every fifth day to go out there and be a bulldog, as Q put it, and the guys have come to respect that, and I think we all respect that, and I think we all admire Randy Dobnak. Just, he's a fun guy to be around. I know Ryan and Jeremy, you guys have felt that too.
Oh, certainly, Bridget. He doesn't take himself too seriously, as you said. I mean, he was driving Uber, and then he was pitching in the big leagues and doing what he's doing, but fun-loving guy, and it's really throughout the clubhouse, exactly as you identified. No one in there is going to make you feel like an outsider, welcoming to everybody, and that's a good chemistry. That's a good foundation for what they're trying to build, to have a group of guys that are the way that they are, that work hard but also enjoy and have a lot of fun together.
He's had to work today. The A's had 6 base runners in the first 2 innings. And now that's line to left off the bat of Geloff, and Collins runs it down on the track. I think a little bit of overspin there might have helped out Isaac Collins.
Oh, certainly did. Geloff has power, 3 home runs in his last 9 games, so off the bat you thought there might be trouble. Collins does a nice job, recognizes where he's at on the field. Just as he gets onto the warning track, a little jump. Plenty of room in front of the warning, or in front of the wall, that is, to brace himself.
Butler was thinking about a bunt. He singled off the end of the bat to left field in the first inning.
With Nick Lofton deep at third base. So maybe they can bring him in, open up the hole a little bit more.
One and two. Two balls, 2 strikes on Butler. He's one of the young players the A's are building around as they prepare for the move to Las Vegas in 2028. Junior throws him out. 2 away.
Athletics played an entire week in Las Vegas this season, and with the amount of runs scored, they might be trying to second guess exactly how they want to construct that ballpark. And for all the struggles their pitching staff has had in West Sacramento, I think they're cautiously aware and optimistic of what that might look like once they get to Las Vegas, known to be a hitter's ballpark in terms of the AAA park. They pitched there once back in 2016, and it has that feel of a launch pad, no doubt about it.
Yes, he did. 0-2 on Max Muncy, who struck out on a fastball in the first inning.
Looks a little bit like Tyler Tolbert's "No, he did not."
1-2.
Referring back to Tuesday's game, and bottom of the ninth, Tolbert got the benefit of a call on a similar swing.
2-2. And Muncy was already saying ouch, assuming that he was going to be hit by that pitch, and he froze afterwards, shocked that it didn't.
Somehow able to avoid that left quad.
Dobnak walks his third.
A walk now in each of the first 3 innings for Dobnak. 64 pitches, 8 outs. He's been very efficient in his other outings, so this has probably been his most laborious outing to date in terms of pitches per inning.
Carlos Cortez took him the other way and singled to left field in the second inning. Down and in, ball 1. Dobnak has thrown 65 pitches and 35 strikes. And that's into right field. So with 2 outs and nobody on, the A's get back-to-back base runners, and now they have 8 base runners in 3 innings.
Well, first pitch ball has been behind the count in a lot of hitters today. So we talked about how well he's done at first pitch strikes the past 3 outings. Today just half first pitch strikes, and the athletic hitters, once they've gotten into hitters counts, have done a nice job. You see it there, 7 of 15.
Serban struck out on an elevated fastball his first time up, and swings over a changeup this time. And that is foul. No balls, 2 strikes. The A's are 1 for 4 with a runner in scoring position today, but that one hit was an infield hit with 2 on 1 out, so it did not produce a run. And Dobnak is moving up on 70 pitches in 3 innings of work today. 1-2.
Well, if you're in that Royals bullpen at this point, you're anticipating that you're probably going to pitch today, whether you're the long relief guy or the back end guy.
Down goes Serban a second time. So it's been a struggle today, but Dobnak has 3 scoreless innings.
$4.99 only at Subway.
Sitting in the Buck O'Neil Legacy seat today is Jennifer Ingram, chair of the Missouri Community Service Commission, known as ServMo, where she works to strengthen communities by promoting volunteerism and expanding opportunities to serve. And through her leadership with ServMo and her service with organizations including Win for KC, the Greater Kansas City Sports Commission, and Kansas City University, Jennifer is dedicated to connecting people, resources, and opportunities to make a lasting difference. One nothing Royals on a Bobby Witt Jr. home run. Nick Lofton lost an extra base hit leading off the bottom of the first on a really good defensive play by the center fielder Bolte. And Jeremy was all over it. It did remind us of a play we saw Lorenzo Cain make many years here in Kansas City. Muncy throws out Lofton. Locane made great plays all over the field, but you're right, there was something about that area, and I can picture him in deepest right center field more than deep left center field, more than shallow center field, more than shallow right field. I mean, that was his spot.
Well, we put him to the test. Guys like me and Vargy generally were fly ball pitchers, so me more so than anybody, but we let him get his exercise out there. There were no days off for our outfielders when a lot of us were on the mound.
Bobby homered over the bullpen at left field against Gage Jump. One and one. That was his second home run of the series and his third home run in his last 5 games. And in this series now he has 5 hits, 3 walks, 6 runs scored, and 5 RBIs. 2-1. Three balls, 1 strike. And Gage Jump seems none too interested in challenging Bobby Witt Jr. this time around.
Well, that's what it was like last time too. Fell behind him, had some pitches down, and kind of worked himself back into the count. Bobby made him pay the price.
Off the end of the bat, and that'll drop into right center field for Bobby's second hit today. And
well, let me take you back to the first inning when I was talking about Bobby Witt Jr. facing Gage Jump, and it was the first 3 pitches down, being cautious, trying to keep him on the ground, fell behind 3-0. So at this point he's going to walk him, comes into the zone. Now he's 3-2 and he's up in the zone 2 consecutive pitches. So Bobby's eyesight goes from down below to up, and now another fastball kind of up and away. It's 97 miles per hour, but you know Junior pitches up in the zone, handles him so much better. A couple years ago was a pitch you could attack him with as a pitcher, and he struggled, but he has gotten so much better all over the zone. There's really no place you can pitch Bobby Witt Jr. with confidence to be able to get him out.
And he's reached base 9 times in this series.
9 times. Getting on base 9 times.
One ball, 1 strike on John Rave, who bats for the first time. He came into the game in the top of the 2nd inning after Michael Garcia had to leave in the bottom of the 1st inning after rounding 3rd base. And Michael appeared to be grabbing the back of his left leg, and now the Royals have confirmed that he exited the game with a strained left hamstring. One and 2 on John Rave, who had the biggest hit last night, and the Royals come from behind win with a 3-run double. And he came into that game because a starter had to come out because of an injury. Jack Caglione Jr. was running, and that's fouled into the A's dugout.
We'll take a look at it last night. I appreciate what Q said, but 8th inning that is, gets himself a fastball up the zone, left on left. One of the biggest hits of his career, as Q pointed out today in the pregame interview that you had, Ryan, with Q. And I thought it was so funny last night. If you watched the postgame show, someone asked about Rave, and he said, well, you know what, I just wanted to find a chance to get him in there, so I took Caglione out early on, knowing they would probably come down to his at-bat. And that's just good coaching. Tongue-in-cheek, of course, from Matt Quatrero, but ended up being a huge hit for the Royals. And Cag's taking it easy again today in hopes that that foot and ankle will feel better for the weekend.
Junior runs again, and Rave hits it up the right field line, but he was out in front. go down to Bridget.
Well, guys, John Rave hasn't had a ton of opportunities this season, nor has he had a ton of opportunities like the one that he did last night. And staying calm in those types of moments doesn't just come naturally for someone like him. He said it's taken years of work, and he told me last night it's something he learned last year. It's a moment he would have gotten sped up in before, but the ups and downs of what happened with him last year really matured him enough to handle that situation last night. He said, hey, when they told me that I was coming in the game, my heart rate stayed the same. He felt good to go, and he was ready.
That's a really good point, Bridget, to have that conversation and talk about his evolution. What has he learned from that first call-up last season, the time he got, to who is he today? And that's a big difference. When you get more comfortable, settled in, have some success and some failure, you recognize the best way to put yourself in a good position is to slow the game down as best you can. And so even if that heart rate ramps up on you, take a deep breath, settle it back in. And he did such a fantastic job of that last night.
I don't remember where I heard this, but as a young broadcaster, someone used the expression dealing with the urgent without becoming anxious. So it's a serious situation. It's a big situation, but that doesn't mean you have to become anxious in that situation. That's something that sounds like John Rave and you and others have just kind of had to go through it.
You have to learn it
by way
experience.
of failure, right?
Yeah, you got to learn it through experience. It's the best teacher.
Huffing and puffing and pumping myself up, and that didn't work for me. So
I wonder if the broadcaster that told you that was the same one that changed your diaper. Any chance or no?
So you heard that?
I did hear that, of course. Watch every game when I'm not on the broadcast. Can't get enough of you and Hud and Haas, Jake on occasion.
Nothing like trying to establish yourself as a very young broadcaster with an extremely famous analyst, and he reveals to the world that he believes that he changed your diaper once upon a time. Bobby is quite the distraction over there. He's going to run again. And that's going to bloop into shallow right, and Bobby will keep running. On an 0-2 pitch, Salvi muscles one for a base hit, and the Royals have runners at the corners.
You said it, a complete distraction above all because he's running against a left-handed pitcher, so every single time Junior takes off, it's right in the face of Gage jump. Salvi fighting pitches off, and finally gets one that he can keep fair.
Which tells me that he was all over Jump's move, that there was, he knew that Jump was going to go to the plate. I mean, it's very rare against a left-hand pitcher that a base runner is going to take off that many times.
Yeah, it's really a good point. Left-handed pitcher, when they have the ability to adjust after the leg lift, which is what Andy Pettit did so well, he could lift his leg, and then if he saw you go, he could actually make that adjustment. Clearly, for Gage Jump, my presumption would be the Royals have identified that once that leg is up, if he's not coming to first, he's not going to be able to make that adjustment. And for every pitcher, you look a little bit different when you're going to first base versus making a delivery to home plate. So as soon as it comes up, Bobby reads it, takes off, and thought we might get ourselves another first to home on that play, but not quite deep enough.
Here's Vinny, who popped out to short for the last out of the first inning. He's had a big series coming back from the injured list. 6 hits, 3 doubles, a home run. He tied a career high last night by scoring 3 runs, and he has 3 RBIs in the series. On the edge with Vinny giving ground and almost coiling like he was going to get hit.
And then I think he tried to challenge it and maybe looked back and said, no, it's too late. Maybe I can't.
Pulled foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The Royals overall, with runners in scoring position, have had themselves quite a series. See if they can cash in Another base hit with runners on and 2 outs.
Fought it off, still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Been a lot of base runners in the early part of this game. The A's have had 8 in the first 3 innings. And the Royals have 6 in the first 3 innings. Salvi's running, and Vinny fouls it away. So Salvi realized that Gage Jump was paying no attention to him. And McNeil was playing behind Salvi with Vinny up, trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, stay close enough to the bag to limit Salvi's lead, but also allow himself some extra range with Vinny at the plate.
There we go, 16 for 39 runners in scoring position in the 3 games thus far. And credit Gage Jump, as much as he's seeing runners take off in front of him, he's still focused on the hitter.
Outside, 2-2.
Look at that velocity. So has his back up against the wall a little bit here, turning the dial up on his fastball.
And now 3-2.
Well, overall, with 2 strikes against left-handed hitters, primarily likes to use the 4-seam fastball, whether it's to the outside corner or the top part of the zone. He's already tried that a couple of times with Vinny, tried to go to the sweeper. I would imagine he'll go back to a fastball.
Salvi runs, and Vinny takes a walk, coming back from 1 ball, 2 strikes. So that's 7 runners for the Royals in 3 innings. And Jump's second walk, bringing up Isaac Collins.
And that makes it 9 consecutive starts for Gage Jump with 2 or more walks. Creating a lot more traffic for himself with the free passes.
He just informed the home plate umpire that he'll be pitching from the windup. And that's low, challenged by Servin.
Pitch is called a ball. The catcher's challenging.
ABS is powered by T-Mobile.
Call's overturned. A's have 1 remaining.
Brian
2 remaining.
Servin was right. And that's a rare first pitch strike for Gage Jump. He's been pitching from behind most of today. He's only thrown 6 of 15 first pitch strikes. Collins hits it into left center field and down. And with Salvi going on contact, that'll be a 2-out, 2-run single for Isaac Collins.
Well, we saw his swing last night. Maybe that's the one that busts him out of his little mini slump he's in. It's a slider, sweeper. Backdoor, middle up. Does a nice job. He's out front just a hair. Keeps the hands back enough to drive it into left center field. And with 2 outs, Salvi scores without any problem from second base.
And Vinny goes first to third, which may not seem like a big item. I will point out, though, that Gage Jump leads the A's with 5 wild pitches. And Tolbert takes up and away, and with Tolbert's speed, there's a chance for an infield hit, which would come in handy with a runner at third base and 2 down. Taylor Rashi, who has warmed up a couple of times in this series, gets ready in the bottom of the 3rd. 2 balls and no strikes. Tolbert walked with 1 out in the 2nd inning. Strike right on the edge, 2-1. Here comes pitch number 33 in this inning. Both starters today are working on a 20+ pitches per inning. Collins runs and it's fouled away.
The third Royals base runner to take off an attempted steal this inning. We talked at the start, Gage Jump would like to be able to use that changeup more as he develops it. This inning, as he's gotten backed into a corner, you see he's only been able to rely on the sweeper and the fastball. That's where that changeup could come in so handy, especially against teams that stack him with right-handed hitters. Well, this is leading to over 17 pitches per inning.
Now Tolbert hits that into left center field. Bolte comes over from center and it hangs up for him to end the inning. But the Royals get 2 with 2 outs. Isaac Collins ends an 0 for 14 and gives the Royals a 3-0 lead. For every Royals hit all season long, and they have 5 in the first 3 innings. Quick Trip and the Royals donate books to Kansas City schools and nonprofits through the Hit the Books program. Learn more at royals.com/book request.
I'll tell you who got hit by the books today was me. Lucy woke up, came to my room and hit me on the head with 2 books. Said, "Daddy, 2 books before my show." We read books today. So I got no hits in 2 books. That kind of day. That kind of day. Go dog go. You ever read that one, Rhino?
Yes.
It's a great one.
Well, you and Jenny are raising her right that she wanted to read before screen time.
I know, and she didn't even get screen time today because it's school day, so trying to get her into a better groove. Summer can really mess that up. You know that as well as anybody.
They're all in school right now. 1-2 on Donovan Walton, who slaps it up the left field line, and that will be foul. Come to Kauffman Stadium on Tuesday, September 1st, and enjoy exclusive photo ops, and you can take home a Royals and Harry Potter heat-activated Marauders map mug with the purchase of a theme ticket. It's also the final Dollar Dog night of the season. That's a theme ticket. And you can purchase those theme tickets at royals.com/Harry Potter. Hey, the drone is giving us an angle we haven't seen this year. Usually the drone is high atop Kauffman Stadium. This would be the Gate D entrance, guys. Am I right?
New views even in August. Never fails to disappoint. I'll tell you what, Donovan Walton just finds a way to put the bat on any pitch you throw him. Pesky at third. Sinker, change, slider. Whenever Dobnak throws, Walton's putting a little bit of a swing on it and staying alive.
And he does it again. Donovan Robert Walton, middle name after his father, who played at Oklahoma State in their glory years. He pitched in 4 different College World Series in the mid-'80s. And Donovan followed his dad and went to Oklahoma State and was drafted by Seattle. That is a very good at-bat. And down into the right field corner, and Walton has a leadoff double.
You said that's a good at-bat. I can't remember a non-competitive at-bat this entire series from Walton. Gets himself a sweeper down and in. This is after he fouled off a number of pitches. 5 foul balls prior to this double into the corner. I really like Walton, the way he protects and makes the pitcher work. Waits for his pitch, and then he knows what to do with it when he gets it. And when I say I like him if he's on my team. I'd hate him if he's against me.
Does a name pop out for you? Someone that maybe you could get him out, but just drove you nuts with foul balls. And in your mind, you're thinking, I should have got him out in 3 or 4 pitches, and then here you are 8 or 9 pitches into it and still can't put him away.
You know who, a guy that was like that a little bit was Jacoby Ellsbury. But the problem was he did damage, so he would foul pitches off and then when I made a mistake, he'd hit it into the right center gap for a triple or a double or a home run. But he was really tough for me to get a swing and a miss, or a miss hit and failed in fair territory. He either hit the ball hard or he fouled it off.
2-1 on Hernandez, who had an infield single his first time up.
And to be clear, that was the Jacoby Ellsbury of the Red Sox. That was a perennial MVP candidate prior to going to the Yankees.
He's from your neck of the woods, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an Oregon glory.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Makes his home down in Arizona now.
2-2 on Hernandez. And if I recall, Jacoby Ellsbury was the king of catcher's interference.
Yeah, big, long, almost like he had those hands back in his stance, and that first motion would kind of be back towards the catcher as he loaded. And the swing was a little bit longer out behind him and then short out front.
Both starters today have been in search of a quick inning. Randy Dobnak has now thrown 84 pitches in 3 innings and 2 batters. Fouled away. He did something that was significant in the first 3 innings today. He allowed 8 base runners in the first 3 innings and no runs. And how rare is that? Well, at least for the Royals, the last pitcher to give up 8 or more base runners in 3 innings and no runs was in 1996, Tim Belcher.
Wow. Almost dropped a Tim Belcher on us.
And now a walk. And Dobnak has now tied his career high and season high with 4 walks. And here comes pitching coach Brian Sweeney out for a chat. How about that? That's a and the 5th Royal all time, but the first since Tim Belcher in 1996. Dave Woody was all over that up here in the booth.
Always is.
He would have been the Royals traveling secretary in 1996 when Tim Belcher was here.
He was taking notes in 96.
2 on, nobody out. Top of the order is coming up. And here's a message from Rally House.
The season starts at Rally House. From jerseys and hats to tumblers for game day, it's where outrageous selection meets every fan's style.
One of Randy Dobnak's biggest outs so far was a strikeout of Henry Bolte in the 2nd inning with the bases loaded 1 out, which resulted in that being a scoreless inning. And here's Bolte with 2 on, nobody out. The Royals leading 3-0 in the 4th. Way outside and backhanded by Maley. And now Carlos Duran begins to warm up in the Royals bullpen.
Well, if you're watching what Randy Dobnak's doing this afternoon, it just appears like he's trying to pitch away from contact more so than he would normally. You see him, he's living on the edges. That's a really good sinker in on the hands of Bolte. That's more like a pitch you'll see in the past, maybe an 0-1 or a 1-2 pitch that he'll throw. It seems like today he's nibbling on the corners a little bit more, trying to be more fine, which is causing him to fall behind in counts. You have to come in the count later when he's behind, which makes it more hittable.
Would that be a sign, perhaps, that he's not as confident with his stuff as he is in the past, and he feels like he has to be more fine?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there might have been something coming in. Maybe didn't feel as good. Maybe he saw something in the lineup that just puts a little seed in the back of your head, like, hey, these guys have good swings on these pitches. I need to be more careful. So, as you can see, when he throws strikes, gets ahead, there still have not been a whole lot of good swings against him. That being said, it would be a great time to roll up another ground ball double play.
Pitch 91 is fouled away. 91 pitches in 3+ innings. That's the most pitches for him through 4 innings in his career, and he doesn't have an out in the 4th inning today. No outs, and he's thrown 21 pitches in the inning.
Through 92 and 5 2/3 in his last start. So he's already matched that.
And that was somewhat of a similar start for him at the Angels. And when it was all said and done, it was a good looking line. He was 1 out away from a quality start. Another foul ball, still 2 balls, 2 strikes. But the Angels made him work, just like the A's have today in the first 3 innings. But he finally settled in the 4th inning and ended up retiring 8 of the last 10. He hasn't quite settled in yet today. And that's inside. So the count goes from 1-2 to 3-2 with McNeil on deck. And Bolte grounds it back to Dobnak. Out at second, and he gets a double play. And you talk about slowing the game down and staying calm in an urgent situation. That was about as calm and collected with the throw to second base as you're going to see.
Well, how about your rally house moment that matters? The fastest guy in the field here, even faster than Bobby Witt Jr. in terms of average sprint speed, gets a little one-hopper comeback to you. Like you said, you know you got to rush because of the speed of Bolte from home to first, but Randy doesn't rush the throw. Throws a perfect strike. Gets the double play. Now, chance to get out of it.
This will be in the sun, but Junior has a good angle, and that's the inning.
Well, talk about a Houdini act. First and second, nobody out. Double play, pop up, scoreless through 4. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Royals, the official source for your Kansas City Royals gear.
There's the attaboy. You would expect that after 96 pitches in 4 innings. And if you had not seen one pitch today, Jeremy, and I told you that Randy Dobnak threw 96 pitches in 4 innings, you would say he gave up how many runs?
Well, if you told me he walked 4, it would be no fewer than 5 runs. I promise you that. And I'll tell you what, that's, you know, it's 4 innings, and you want to go 5, 6 innings plus, but you gave up 0 runs in a major league game now for the 4th time in 7 starts, and it wasn't pretty. But if that's your not pretty, if that's your ugly start, that's just how good Randy Dobnak's going right now. His worst start by far in terms of just the way it looked, the way it all played out, results in leading with the 3-0 lead, which is the goal. You want to help your team win. So job done for 4 innings for Randy, and he'll turn it over to the bullpen.
2-1 on Michael Massey, and if I've heard it once, I've heard it 500 times in my career. A veteran pitcher or a pitching coach counseling a young pitcher. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that would be, hey, it's not going your way, but you're just 1 pitch away from getting out of this. Keep competing. You're 1 pitch away.
That's what he did. He never once stopped competing, backed himself into a couple of corners and escaped both of them.
And the way he's slamming that bottle of water will tell you how much he had to work today in those 4 innings.
10 base runners.
Michael Massey has hit in 6 straight games as he drops one into left field for a leadoff single.
Well, let's go back and take a look at Randy Dobnak's afternoon. Back in the 1st inning, got himself his first double play of the season against one of the toughest hitters in this Athletics lineup, Jeff McNeil. Nice play by Salvi. And then when he got in trouble in the next innings, had a couple of big strikeouts, had 4 on the afternoon. It felt like all 4 of his strikeouts were with men in scoring position, big pitches. And then Henry Bolte in the 4th inning, 1st and 2nd, nobody out, gets a huge double play and able to escape once again with the pop-up by McNeil. So I'll tell you what, it was every bit a magic act by Randy Dobnak this afternoon, but he's been so good at being able to get balls in the ground and just show his pitchability. And today he did it with trouble on the bases.
And I'm still impressed with how calm he was when he handled that 1-hopper from Bolte and flipped it down to second base. There was no urgency there. Looked more like an infielder than he did a pitcher. 1-2 on Luke Maley.
I like it. Luke Maley's taken some nice swings this afternoon. Struck out in the first at bat, but right on some pitches. Looks like he's on time. It's really tough to play as little as he has and come up and get an at bat against a tough left-handed pitcher.
Down on strikes for a second time, and that is 3 for Gage Jump.
Well, that pitch is just unfair. You start a backdoor slider up and away out of the zone, and it comes back and catches that up and away quadrant. Not a whole lot you can do. That is not a pitch you want to be swinging at. You should just tip your cap.
Last night, and putting the Royals in front with a double, John Rave put an end to an 0 for 15. Earlier today, Isaac Collins put an end to an 0 for 14. And now it's Nick Lofton's turn. And he does. That snaps an 0 for 14. And it rolls deep. And it gets by the right fielder Cortez. So Michael Massey just keeps on running. Lofton goes to third, and the Royals lead 4-0.
You called it, partner. Everyone breaking out of their little mini slumps. Nick Lofton gets a pitch up and away, and boy, he shoots that right center gap nicely. Four-seam fastball, and you could tell from the get Carlos Cortez was running a deep route, but you knew if it got past him, it was going to allow Michael Massey to score. And Cortez needed just one more step to be able to field it cleanly, and with that, Michael Massey running nice and steady all the way around, never had to break stride. RBI triple for Nick Lofton.
And now runner at third with one out for Junior. Servin snap throw down to third base, but Lofton and Vance Wilson were all over that. Bobby homered to left in the first inning, and then singled to right center and scored in the third. 2-0, so updating his numbers in this series. He is 6 for 13 with 2 home runs, 3 walks, a stolen base, 7 runs scored, and 5 RBIs. And as I'm giving you those numbers, the A's have said that's enough.
Well, you talked
Put him
about
on.
it. Yeah, they probably were listening to you. Why would we pitch to this guy? 6 for 13, 2 home runs. We'll give him his 4th base on balls for the series. Take their chances with John Rave.
Bunning. Here comes Lofton. The play is at the plate, and Lofton is going to be out. And Rave, if he could do it again, would have angled it more toward first or third. What a good idea.
Well, that's the difference between a suicide squeeze bunt and a safety squeeze. And you see Nick Lofton doesn't have a big lead, doesn't get a great secondary. So that bunt right back to Gage Jump, who does a nice job. That's the play you practice 50 times in spring training. I don't think I ever did it in a game, but they made you practice it over and over and over. Glove flip, sell out. Well, that's a play again. If you're just trying to get the bunt down, if Nick Lofton's halfway down the line and it's more of a suicide play, it's perfect. But in that case, safety squeeze, not a real chance for Nick Lofton to score.
Two on, 2 out for Salvi. And Jump is still worried about Bobby Witt Jr.
Well, Brian Servin behind the dish has thrown out 4 of 14 base stealers this season. So it's a tick below 30%.
Salvi has 3 RBIs in the series, and in doing so broke a tie with Hal McRae for the second most RBIs here at Royals Kauffman Stadium. Good breaking ball. And that's 83 pitches in 3 2/3 innings for Gage Jump. Still 0-2.
What does Savvy need? Just about 300 more to pass George Brett for the most RBI at Kauffman Stadium. George somewhere in the mid 800s. I read it somewhere. I don't remember, but it's a big number. I know that. Much more than 535.
Up the middle, over the bag, and into center field. And Bobby Witt Jr. scores on Salvi's 4th RBI of the series. Jr. scores his 8th run in the series, and the Royals lead 5-0.
Well, you can't get all 301 swing, but Salvi will take one more. Fastball middle in, trying to go in on the hands. Salvi does a nice job, drives it right up the middle. Another RBI, and look how fired up he is. We've seen this all series long from Salvi. I asked him, I said, you know what, you look like the same guy today as you did in the most important games of your life back in 14 and 15. Boppy, I just want to win another World Series. That's what he said to me. I just want to win. I want to win another World Series. I want to compete. And you would never be able to tell how important the game is. If he's helping his team, if he's knocking in runs, he's going to be fired up.
Cut off at second by Walton, and that is the inning. So the Royals have back-to-back 2-run innings, and now they lead 5-0.
Come to the K on September 4th for K-Pop Demon Hunters Night. Fans receive a special co-branded K-Pop Demon Hunters backpack with the purchase of a theme ticket. Plus, enjoy a special K-Pop Demon Hunters themed fireworks show after the game. Visit Royals.com/K-Pop.
Carlos Duran made quite an impression on the Royals on Tuesday, throwing a scoreless top of the 9th inning. The Royals won it in the bottom of the 9th inning. He got his first big league strikeout and his first big league win. Last time he pitched in the big leagues was for the A's in May of 2025. So that was just his second big league appearance on Tuesday. And he starts off Zach Geloff with a strike. Randy Dobnak achieved something today that was last done in the American League in 1932. Randy Dobnak today went 4 innings. He allowed 10 base runners and no runs. The last time that happened, where a pitcher went 4 innings or fewer and gave up 10 base runners and no runs, was Tommy Bridges. Detroit's Tommy Bridges against the A's. 3 cities ago for the A's. They were in Philadelphia. July 28th, 1932 was the last time an American League starter went 4 or fewer innings and gave up 10 or more base runners and no runs until Randy Dobnak today.
Can't make this stuff up against the A's of all teams. What year was it? Is that 100+ years ago?
1932. So not quite 100 years.
Not quite. Right. Well, the next time it's done against an athletics team, it will be in a new city yet again.
That's right. Lofton plays the second hop and close, but out. Showing off his arm over at third to get Geloff one away.
Sure did. A couple of extra stutter steps to gather himself, and Geloff was hustling down the line. Slow chopper, so Geloff could kind of smell maybe a base hit, but hustled well and beats him by just half a stride. Ball one on Lawrence Butler. We'll have to do some research on that too. Now that you say that, it was 3 cities ago for the Athletics, and I mean, I think technically they're in their what, 4th city, West Sacramento.
Even though they don't identify themselves as the Sacramento or West Sacramento Athletics, I'd be a little upset if I were West Sacramento. I mean, we're providing you with a facility for 3 years while you're building a new one.
If I'm not, did they not get a jersey this year that said Sacramento on it? So that's
But
as close to
officially,
staying. That's as close to staying. We're going steady as you can get. You're wearing the other person's Letterman's jacket into high school. That's kind of like we're going steady.
but to the rest of the world, you're not going steady because you identify as just the Athletics.
Yeah,
and all the official statistics and everywhere you go.
Nonetheless, there's this fantastic video on YouTube. I think it's Brody Brazil, one of these kind of YouTubers that talks about baseball all the time. And he recounted all the cities that have moved. So where every team, modern day teams, have come from, where they started. One of the most fascinating videos I've ever seen, just to see the way teams move around and organizations move. Teams I never knew were in cities were in there. Really cool to watch.
Duran may be having some issues with the mound.
My favorite part is he's pointing to Salvi to say, you see that? There's something wrong there. And I'm not sure how many innings Salvi has, but I'm pretty sure it's 0 pitching. And Duran's like, take a look at this, Salvi. What's going on here?
That's a good captain's move, though, because Duran is new to the Royals, and I'm sure he doesn't want to offend anyone with the grounds crew by saying there's a problem with the mound. So Salvi says, let me come over and say there's a problem with the mound.
Salvi, upon further review, confirms it. ABS challenge of the mound's condition.
So it's a good time to take a peek of Kauffman Stadium from the Rally House Rally Cam. And we started at 76 degrees. And right now the weather app says we're up to 84, which is right about what the high temperature is going to be today, maybe 85, and 90 tomorrow for the beginning of the Tiger series, and then 87 on Saturday, 82 degrees for a high temperature on Sunday.
Let me ask you this question, Ryan, going back to that cities and whatnot. Do you know where the New York Yankees started? Because they are not the New York Yankees. That is not the original team.
They were the Highlanders, right?
Correct.
But they began in a city other than New York?
According to YouTube, yes. I'll put that disclaimer on there. Try to throw it onto the old internet too, just to double check Brody Brazil. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they confirmed
1903 they were the New York Highlanders until 1913 they were the Yankees, but before that
they were in Baltimore. Baltimore moved to New York to be the Highlanders, and the stadium was, I believe, the Polo Grounds where they played, if I'm not mistaken. And then they built Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, and when they moved to the Bronx, they became the New York Yankees. How about that? So the New York Yankees can be traced back to Baltimore. That was the kind of information that this little video has, and it was just fascinating to see where everybody came from. And a few teams were back and forth, like Boston's had this organization, the Braves, they've had the Brewer, you know, all these different organizations that have gone through Boston. Pretty interesting, especially as you consider the Athletics moving and the conversations around other teams potentially moving.
Max Muncy takes a strike. He is struck out and walked.
It's some better traction now, better footing for Carlos.
Las Vegas will be city number 5. That has to be a record.
That's what I was thinking myself. That's got to be the most cities for one organization, if you will, or one name across the chest, whatever you want to call it. I don't recall any other team having that many moves to say they were in 5 or more cities.
Inside 2-1. I have a question for you. Considering how important your footing is, and especially that stride foot, landing and staying where it lands, when you're having a problem with the mound, if on your next pitch it feels good, Are you over it, or is it still always in the back of your mind?
I think that's a good point. Yeah, you do it one good time, and it's like, okay, it's back to where it needs to be. It's back to par. So I would say that. Now, granted, one slip or one misstep later, and it's right back to where it wasn't good again. So, but I think you do forget about it. As a pitcher, these big league mounds are so well manicured, so it's not like there's a major problem like you encounter in high school and sometimes college baseball or summer baseball.
So what goes wrong if you're tentative with your stride foot?
Well, if you're tentative, then you might stride a little bit shorter, longer, more to the left, more to the right at a minimum. And what else could go wrong is if it actually has a big hole, you could land funny and roll your ankle. You could throw, cause your entire body to go off line and throw just a terrible pitch, possibly injuring yourself and or injuring the batter. So there's a lot that can go wrong if there's a big hole that's just not matching up well with your foot. And that happens from time to time.
Duran snapped at that throw back from Maile, so he's angry with himself. He got a ground ball and a quick out against Geloff, and now with a 5-0 lead, he's given the A's a couple of base runners. And Carlos Cortez comes up. He was 2 for 2 against Dobnak, and now that's down and away.
If there's any weakness to Duran's game, it's command. Trying to find that ability to be in the strike zone. The stuff certainly is good enough. It's a matter of forcing the issue with hitters by being ahead of them in the count.
And he missed badly again, 2-0.
You see the movement, right? That's 94-95. Luke Maile, like a good veteran catcher would, wants to come out and talk to him. Salvi meets him as well. See right there, Salvi saying right through his chest. That's why he just pointed right to the chest protector of Luke Maile. And you can see the way that ball's coming out. It's kind of already his hands off to the side. The ball's starting outer third, running way off the plate. That's what a young pitcher will learn the most. When their ball moves like it does with Carlos Duran, you don't have to be anything but right on top of the plate. Let the movement get the hitter out.
He's thrown 17 pitches and 5 strikes.
For Carlos Cortez, on the flip side of this equation, 2-0. You just had a meeting on the mound. You're banking on a fastball middle, and you're going to get aggressive here.
And it's inside, 3 balls and no strikes. And the phone might be ringing in the bullpen very shortly. And that's a 4-pitch walk. So with 1 out, Duran walks the bases loaded.
Bad news is he's got 3 straight walks. Good news, he has a right-handed hitter up there. He is 1 pitch away from a jam shot ground ball double play. That's a good start.
Another brand new Royal, Connor Thomas, is next up in the bullpen. Now, we've only seen Duran in a couple of appearances now, so this might be an unfair question, but what do you see mechanically? Anything stand out while you're watching him?
Well, it's always going to stand out his size. He's such a big, lanky, a lot of long levers. He's going to have to find that direction that goes straight through home plate. You see that missed the pitch previous. The ball was the fastball inside is where Luke Maile was set up, and he missed about 8 inches off the plate away. So it tells you that he's pulling off. That front arm is kind of pulling towards first base, which redirects the momentum to the outer part of the plate. He just wants to think middle down, really. And I say that a lot because a lot of the pitchers on this Royals have such good stuff. That's really all you have to do, at least early in the count, is be aggressive middle down. And Duran, with his size and his velocity, above all the way that ball moves, 90% chance if he throws a fastball that has movement for a strike, Servin's going to put it on the ground for him, which is exactly what you're looking for.
And it's a fly ball to shallow center and drops in front of Tolbert. All the runners had to freeze, so the A's will get one out of it. Butler scores, and it's 5-1.
Yeah, for Servin, he knows that fastball two-seam has movement. He's looking for something up in the zone. Gets it about belt high. Takes a nice compact swing right through the baseball. For the Athletics, it's station to station. 3 walks, RBI single. Have one of the 5 runs back.
And another trip to the mound, and I'm assuming this came from the dugout. And the Royals maybe have determined that they want to set up a left on left here, and yep, by slowing things down, that gives Matt Quachero a beat or two before he goes out, and now it's an automatic pitching change. And the Royals don't want to see this one slip away, and they'll bring on Connor Thomas with the bases loaded and 1 out, and a left-hand batter coming up.
Play from anywhere.
The Rally House rally cam soars over the right field corner. And you can see that the shadows are very small right now, which would mean the sun is right on top of Kauffman Stadium. Connor Thomas on Monday made his Royals debut, pitching a scoreless inning. A clean scoreless inning. Not so today. He inherits 3 bases loaded, 1 out, and pitching to Donovan Walton, and he gets a ground ball slowly hit towards second. Massey hurries and gets the out. The A's get a second run, and it's 5-2.
A really nice job by Michael Massey. Had the runner bearing down on him right in front of him. Brian Servin was going to second base. Quite a distraction for Massey, who didn't have much time with the lefty coming out of the box. But right there, you see how close he was. Quick throw, doesn't even take a step. That's the key. Gets his feet in position. Just kind of a windmill throw as soon as he comes up. And Walton thought he had that off the bat.
And a strike is going to be challenged by Hernandez. ABS is powered by T-Mobile, and it is high. So a big spot right here. The Royals are up 5-0. 2 walks have come around to score. Now there's 2 runners in scoring position. And that's a strike. 1-1 on Hernandez, who has an infield single and a walk. Soft liner is caught by Massey. So the A's are back in the game with 2, and we head to the bottom of the 5th with the Royals leading 5-2.
Back at Kauffman Stadium, and starting tomorrow, it's Players Weekend. All weekend long, players will wear custom gear, custom cleats. They'll use some colorful bats, you name it, to show off their personality, their hobbies, personal causes, and other interests. It's always a fun weekend, and I know some Royals players have some fun gear lined up. I saw on social media yesterday, Carter Jensen, he stopped by Children's Mercy and visited with the kiddos and had them help out designing his cleats for Players Weekend. I know some of the other guys too have some cool gear lined up, so a lot to look forward to this weekend.
Bridger, you got to get us some pictures tomorrow. Let's see some of the good stuff in the lockers in the clubhouse. That's really cool that Noah Cameron did some work with the actual players. Was it
Carter Jensen?
Carter Jensen, sorry. Did some work and let them design. That's the fun part. Really letting others be involved in it and feel like they're a part of the big league game.
Taylor Rashi is making his A's debut. He has paid his dues. Taylor Rashi made his big league debut for Arizona last year as a 29-year-old. And he got a save in his big league debut. Collins takes low, 3 balls, 1 strike, and he's pitched 3 games with Arizona this season, which included his first big league win. And now his A's debut. Collins checks his swing. Isaac had a 2-run, 2-out single in the 3rd inning to make it 3-0 Royals, and that single snapped an 0 for 14.
Well, let's go back to that little base hit by Isaac Collins. Got himself a slider, middle up, deposits into left center field. A couple of RBI.
Tyler Tolbert is on deck, followed by Michael Massey. And Collins takes a leadoff walk.
Rashi 6'4", 220 pounds, big frame. Fastball, slider are his 2 primary pitches, but also has a split. You'll see when he goes into the glove, he'll actually preset the split grip. A lot of pitchers do that so that they don't have to move the hand a lot inside the glove, giving away the pitch. For the split finger and curveball to go along with it.
Tyler Tolbert is walked and flied to center.
Players Weekend, we're going to see a lot of designer bats to go along with the designer shoes. Probably some gloves that look cool. Catcher's gear. I wish Major League Baseball would have had a Players Weekend when I was still playing. It would have been fun to do some of the gear and go out there and wear it with your own little flair and style to it.
Especially with your love for shoes.
Absolutely. Maybe put some spikes in the bottom of some fun shoes.
Jeremy, I think you need popcorn cleats.
Yes.
Something
Yeah,
something with
idea.
popcorn. That's very you.
Good call.
I'd
Good
say
call.
even though you're not on the field, you should wear something popcorn this weekend anyway.
Put popcorn in the shoes, and then when you take the shoes off, walk off the field like popcorn all over. That'd be a nice little touch.
I think you need to have Lucy get creative on a pair of shoes.
Lucy is creative. She loves to draw. Holy cow, this girl loves to draw. She's killed an entire forest at age 5 drawing. My wife had to get some covers for our table in the kitchen so she wouldn't mark all over the table.
Long run in for Cortez with the wind blowing in. That is out number 1. The Players Weekend that we're all going to remember forever was in Cincinnati a couple of years ago, and Dairon Blanco with his crayon bat had a 3-run home run and a grand slam in the first 4 innings and 7 RBIs. The bat we will never forget, and the day that he will never forget.
What did they do with it? Is that in the Hall of Fame, the Royals Hall of Fame, or no? That would have been
It's
a
in
nice
the Crayola Hall of Fame.
Hey, I think there is one of those. In St. Louis, is there not like a Crayola Hall of Fame or something?
Massey fair into the corner, and it stays in play, allowing Collins to round third and score. So if that bounces over, Collins has to stop at third, but by staying in play, Michael Massey has an RBI double, and the Royals get 1 of the runs back.
Well, he extended his hot hitting 6-game streak early on, but here he gets a slow breaking ball, the curveball middle down, takes a 1-hopper off the wall. Easy for Isaac Collins to come all the way around and score on that play. Nicely played by Cortez, didn't make any mistakes, but had to sit there and wait for it to come to him. 21 doubles on the season, his 43rd RBI.
Luke Mailey with a runner in scoring position. Massey's working on a real solid 2.5, almost 3 months now after getting off to somewhat of a slow start, and he began the year on the injured list with a calf injury. And Mailey hits it into center field. Bolte runs it down. 2 outs.
I had a conversation with Michael Massey coming back from a road trip from St. Louis back in late May. At that time, he was flip-flopping with Nick Lofton at second base. He was kind of moving around, not getting consistent playing time, and he understood, but he said, I just feel like if we could get consistent playing time, myself or Lofton, anyone in this lineup, that I think it would make a big difference. I think you'd start to see a lot better swings, hitters getting into a groove. And I talked to him a couple weeks ago. I said, I think that consistent playing time is exactly what you needed, and it certainly has been. He has swung the bat so well after a slow start, and so much of that, like you said, was attributed to being on the IL coming out of spring training. But he has absolutely become the everyday second base option for the Royals, and he can do it against righties and lefties, which is, to me, I think an even a bigger surprise to everything that he's done on the field this season.
And the other half of that equation is standing at the plate right now.
Yeah,
Nick Lofton.
To your point, Nick Lofton with injuries also got himself consistent playing time, and we've seen the impact he's had.
2 balls, 1 strike. He snapped an 0 for 14 with an RBI triple in the 4th inning. So just in the last 2 nights, John Rave, Isaac Collins, and Nick Lofton have snapped some 0-fers. Big curveball drops in there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. My college coach, John Anderson, who just passed away recently, always talked about the tension between coach and player. The player says, Coach, if you play me more, I'll play better. And the coach says, if you play better, I'll play you more.
26 guys on a major league roster. It's impossible to get everybody in as much as they would like to. And so it does come down to that. And that's why seizing your opportunity when you get it is important as anything you'll ever do in a professional sports career, and any career for that matter. Is you have to be ready when the moment presents itself.
And now Lofton is on with a walk. So Rashi is struggling in his A's debut. He's given up a run. He has walked 2, and now he has to deal with Bobby Witt Jr. And now a trip to the mound for pitching coach Dan Hubbs. And Bobby is having, in some ways, the best series of his career. It's a 4-game series. He has 6 hits and 4 walks. He is the first Royal with 8 or more runs scored and 5 or more RBIs in a series since George Brett. He's also been hit by a pitch, and so for the first time in his career, he has reached base 11 times and scored 8 times in a series. First times for both.
Well, since coming off the IL, he has just looked like the Bobby Witt Jr. of old, and it's nice to see the power come back. I wouldn't normally say this, but first and second, I wouldn't mind seeing Bobby Witt Jr. get big here. See if he can't pull the baseball. Rashi's fastball sits right around 90 miles per hour. He's not going to be able to beat Bobby with the fastball, so if you see spin, stay back, but if you see fastball, might as well go for it. Try to unload, hit something to left center field, pull it into the bullpen.
The last Royal to score 8 or more times in a series was Joe Randa in 2004. He scored 9 times in a series.
Shout out, Joe, if you're watching today. We'll see you at fantasy camp as well. One of the most successful fantasy camp coaches of all time. Oh yeah,
really?
Oh yeah, multiple championships under his belt. He's a players manager too. He really does it for the players. Talk to anybody of his team, him, and pretty sure he's always coaching with Jamie Bluma. There you go. Carry.
It does, but Bolte is there. So the Royals settle for 1. Now at the end of 5, the Royals have a 4-run lead. Kansas City Royals baseball is presented by Ying Flight, the next generation of light beer, and your local Kansas City Honda dealers. And that, I think, is Sarah Lefever's favorite place in Kansas City. City Market.
what's that, North Kansas City?
It's north of downtown.
Yeah, north. Is that, do they call that North Kansas City or just north of downtown, north of I-35? There's a great Spanish restaurant there. You got to go try it. They have a phenomenal paella. Don't sleep on that.
0-1 on Henry Bolte. He's made some big outs today.
That's not a good thing to say
Nope.
for Henry.
Unless you're
some big outs.
Unless you're Randy Dobnak. And Bolte came up with the bases loaded, 1 out in the second inning in a 1-0 Royals lead, and Dobnak struck him out looking in what ended up being a scoreless inning, but that was the key out. And then he came up with 2 on and nobody out against Dobnak in the 4th inning in what was a 3-0 Royals lead, and Dobnak got him to ground into a double play, and then after a pop out, the A's were scoreless in that inning. And now Thomas falls behind 3-1.
Sometimes lost in a game like this one this afternoon is the work of the catcher. Maley's done a nice job, right? He's seen all of his pitchers struggle with command, so he has to find the right pitches. He has to work them through it. He was really able to help Dobnak make big pitches that you just described, especially to Henry Bolte, but it's just as easy for a catcher, if not easier, to get frustrated as it is a pitcher who's struggling. So Maley's really battled, worked with the pitchers, a couple of mound visits.
And now Thomas comes back from 3-1 to strike out Bolte. Remember, when the Royals get 10 or more strikeouts, get a free 10-pack of Capri Sun the next day at Price Chopper. And that is 5 today for Royals pitchers so far. Oh boy. Now with that shot, I'm thinking, man, I hope one of those wings doesn't clip the crown on top of Crown Vision, but then I see the drone out there in center field, and it is tiny compared to that middle portion of the crown.
Those new ones have sensors as well. You can't run a drone into an object unless you really try to, but I was flying one a couple of weeks ago and didn't recognize a tree was in my way from when I was looking at the screen, and suddenly the drone stopped. It was because there was a tree in front of it. So they're okay. You don't got to worry about your drone. They'll do a nice job.
They're smarter than we think.
They are smart drones. There he is. Look at him.
It is amazing that something that size can produce the pictures that it does. Lofton is there, and 2 down for Thomas in the 6th inning.
Thomas has come on and recorded 4 straight outs. Good fastball, using the breaking ball well, and his bread and butter is his changeup. He gets ahead of you with that pitch, can get you to chase it, and get a soft contact.
Zach Geloff, 0-1.
Speaking of the changeup, first pitch, trying to catch the athletic hitters being over aggressive.
Oh, 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Connor Thomas originally was a member of the Cardinals organization. Called 3rd strike for now. Geloff is going to challenge. ABS is powered by T-Mobile, and it is a ball, just barely. Man. From the Cardinals to the Brewers a couple of off seasons ago in the Rule 5 draft, and he made his big league debut for Milwaukee last season. That's a strikeout. Thomas is fired up, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is your first 1-2-3 inning of the day. Today's Sonic Slam inning contestant is Heather Weininger from Shawnee. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Heather wins $100. If it's a grand slam, $25,000. And last night, Vinny Pasquantino homered in the Sonic Slam inning, and that was worth $1,700, and that reset the pot. John Rave hits it on the ground to second, and Walton throws him out. Salvador Perez, and the A's will always remind us of this. Where were you at this moment, and what do you remember from your point of view?
I was on the bullpen mound warming up for the next inning. Yes, indeed. No one would ever know that for a number of reasons, nor should they, but I remember I was nervous. It would have been my first ever playoff appearance, and I was coming out of the bullpen, and a last-minute rally, no need. So we ran in from the bullpen, and what a moment, what a game.
Wow.
I don't think that I run into a fan that doesn't say that wasn't their favorite game. If you're a Royals fan, I think even if you were around in '85, I think the wild card game ranks right up there with games 6 and 7 of the '85 World Series.
And that was a catapult, that game. I mean,
everything.
Then you go to play the Angels, and everyone's saying, well, you know, that was a nice game for the Royals, but they're playing the Angels now. 3 games later, you're on to the Orioles. Well, the Royals are on a nice little roll, but this is Buck Showalter and the Orioles. Well, 4 games after that, you guys are in the World Series.
We should have swept the World Series. That would have been a good story. If we just would have won every playoff game and never lost, that would have been a really good story.
Run the table. On the ground, left side. Not quite up the third base line and fair, but a base hit to left nonetheless. And Salvi has 3 hits today.
He's been on base all 4 times. The first one, it could have even been a base hit. And I bet he's still happy if we look at his face. Still fired up.
Finney is 0 for 2 with a walk. My biggest memory from that game is the one that sticks with me forever, and it was after the game. So I was on radio with Denny. The game is over, and I had to run out to Rivals for television duties post-game, and I walked through the concourse to get there, and just to see the reaction of the fans. They were just starting to leave their seats and go to the concourse and eventually make their way to the parking lot and drive home, and they were beside themselves. They were just going bananas. Complete strangers high-fiving each other and hugging each other. And you know what it's like. I mean, we understand we're part of something really big, but you're isolated as a player. I'm isolated in a booth. We don't really get to be in the middle of things like that. And I mean, honestly, this may sound like I'm exaggerating, but I mean, it changed me forever to just watch how the fans reacted. Skipping past the shortstop Hernandez and into center field, and Vinny has his first hit, and the Royals have 2 on, 1 out.
Take a look at a replay. 99-mile-per-hour line drive from Vinny Pasquantino, right back where it came from. Hernandez couldn't handle the hot shot. Tried to go with the backhand one-hopper. Sasquatch get a little sun this afternoon. He could use it. A little pale up there.
He had a little shoulder shrug when he got to the end of his route, and before he headed back to the door. He's
I don't think I've ever seen him go back in the door. I've never paid attention that long.
Let's go to Bridget.
All right, well, guys, I will tell you, it was a pretty funny interaction in the clubhouse today. I heard Connor Thomas telling Vinny how cool the Sasquatch was. He was like childlike joy watching that last night, I guess. And I was talking to Connor, and he goes, it was so cool to see that. He goes, and the way he was just looking through the doors, Connor thought the Sasquatch was the coolest thing. And he's like, I know that everyone's probably used to it at this point, but I thought it was awesome.
All right, here's your job now, Bridget. Since he's new and he doesn't understand the situation here, tell Connor Thomas that he can go up there whenever he wants to go see the Sasquatch quarters up there. I don't know if he knows that you're not allowed to go up there, and we don't know who it is.
I did inform him about the lore.
Oh, you
that
did?
No one knows. Yeah, the whole thing, and he loved it. He loved every bit of it.
Do we know when it first appeared? What's the date? I don't have that date on hand.
It might have been his rookie year.
You think it was that far back, potentially? Wow.
Isaac Collins with Vinny at first base and Salvi at second. Isaac has chipped in with a 2-run single, a walk, and a run scored. And the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Foul tip and a strikeout. Rashi's first and 2 away in the 6th.
Just a straight 4-seam fastball up in the zone. Able to get it by Isaac Collins.
At 89 miles an hour.
Definitely slower than the average fastball out of the bullpen. Does get some good extension though with the large frame. Over 6.5 feet of extension, so what he lacks in velocity he can get in perceived velocity.
Bolte goes into right center field, and that's the inning. The Royals strand 2, and we head to the 7th with the Royals leading by 4.
Wonderful. Unbelievable.
Sundays are always better with the Royals. Join us August 23rd as the Royals take on the Tigers and take advantage of the Royals Sunday 4-pack, including 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, and 1 parking pass. Grab your pack and explore more dates at royals.com/Sunday.
Butler loses his helmet as he rounds first base, and that's his second soft hit of the day. Right off the end of the bat, that ball had as much side spin on it as anything else.
See a breaking pitch from Thomas. Breaking off the plate. Lawrence Butler gets that extension, able to shoot it to left.
And Craig Kimbrell will come on with a runner at first base and nobody out in the 7th.
Dio.
Be one of the first 10,000 fans to Kauffman Stadium on September 7th and receive a special Royals iced out hockey jersey or sweater presented by Price Chopper. That's with the Arizona Diamondbacks in town. Royals.com/promotions. Craig Kimbrell comes on with a runner at first base and nobody out in the 7th inning.
Picked up a win last night for his 9th major league team. Pitching a scoreless inning. For the season, 36 games, 4.38 ERA.
Down and away ball 1 on Max Muncy. A couple of days ago, you and I had a chance to talk to him before batting practice started, and he could not have been more friendly and engaged in the conversation.
We got him going on golf a little bit. You can tell he loves the game of golf. Talked about some of the courses he's played. Makes home up in Tennessee. And a lot of major league players this day and age do live. It's kind of like the new aged Arizona, if you will. A lot of players up in that area.
Shallow center. Tolbert fights the sun all the way, so Massey bails him out. And Tolbert was doing everything he could. He had his left hand in the air, he had his right hand in the air, and it just was not appearing.
Well, obviously there was some communication here between Tolbert and Massey, which is important. Massey never gives up on the play. Takes a couple looks at him. Tolbert at that point had to be talking to him. I don't see it as he's flailing, trying to protect his face from a fly ball potentially hitting him. But the big key there was Michael Massey went out to center field, and they communicated, so they knew what was going on. Massey, even though he was looking at the ball, knew that Tolbert was having a hard time finding it. Really nicely done.
So a play like that's interesting because you might think, well, Tolbert lost it in the sun. How come Massey didn't lose it in the sun? Well, Massey is pursuing the ball, but his eyes are pointed in a completely different direction. One ball, one strike on Cortez, and that's why you'll see sometimes on a Alex Gordon was one of the best at this. When left field was the sun field, a ball would be hit to him and he would intentionally position his body away from the sun, hoping to get some separation with the ball from the glare by just the direction with which he was looking.
Alex was really good at that. I remember he would even work on it during batting practice, just try to figure out where did he need to be positioned to have the best chance to see the baseball. So he's one of the very best left fielders to ever play. We'll find out what kind of golf game he has tomorrow, but I know he's a good left fielder.
Well, tell him we were talking about him.
I will. He's probably listening. He's for sure listening. We'll get a text message within a couple of minutes here. Royals Hall of Famer Alex Gordon.
Fouled away. You would have played with Omar Vizquel in Cleveland, correct?
Sure did. Just one season. His very last as an Indian.
He probably only he could pull this off. But when shortstop was the sun field,
sliding shorts and a half cut off flex all t-shirt at the weight room. Oh no, sorry, something different. Okay.
No, this has to do with the ball in the sun. Cortez takes low. I saw Omar Vizquel more than once in Cleveland when the shortstop or left field, that side, was in the sun, and on a fly ball to shallow left field, instead of going out and turning back to the infield, he would intentionally turn his back to the infield and add a huge degree of difficulty to the play to make an over the head catch, because he'd be looking toward left field, not toward the sun, and he'd pull it off.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Grounded foul. Still 3-2.
Now that was a true magician on the diamond. Omar Vizquel. All those gold gloves, and one of the things maybe the thing I remember most about Omar Vizquel was a game in which at Yankee Stadium we just saw a 22-0 victory by the Milwaukee Brewers the other night. I was on the Indians in 04, and we beat the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, old Yankee Stadium, of course, 22-0. So it was their largest home shutout defeat in the history of Yankee Stadium, which was there, what, from 1923 to 2008. And in that game, Omar Vizquel was 6 for 6, and they got him out in the last at bat. He was going for a major league record 7 hits. Just missed it.
Butler runs, and it's hit in the air to left. Collins has no trouble with the sun. 2 down, and Butler goes back to first base.
That was just my second big league outing. Yankee Stadium.
And your shortstop gives you 6 hits.
Sure does.
Craig Kimbrell is making appearance number 888.
Wow.
Today.
888 appearances.
And almost exactly half of those have resulted in saves. Butler runs. Mailey's throw is a good one, and out at second base. A perfect throw by Luke Mailey on Butler, who actually had a good jump. And the A's will not challenge. So that's that. And Kimbrell has a scoreless 7th.
/Harry Potter.
Kansas City Royals baseball is presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Quiet day compared to others at Union Station.
We've seen it more busy than that, that's for sure.
Scott Blewett will get the bottom of the 7th inning with Michael Massey, Luke Maley, and Nick Lofton coming up.
Third time we see Scott Blewett in the series. So he's come in, been effective.
Massey has 2 more hits today. Back in the 4th inning, he singled and came around to score, and then he had an RBI double in the 5th. (2-0) against former Royals 2nd-round pick Scott Blewett in 2014 out of high school in Baldwinsville, New York. Pulled foul. Otherwise, he was on his way to St. John's University before signing with the Royals. And in 2020, he made his big league debut for the Royals at Milwaukee. That is through the right side, and Michael Massey has a 3-hit day.
See what he's able to do with this. It's like a little bit of a slider inside. Brings his hands in very well. That's what Michael Massey's been doing, is finding a way to get the barrel of the bat to the baseball. Six-game hit streak now, 12 of 21 in his last 6 games.
Inside on Luke Maley. He's 0 for 3 so far today, but as Jeremy pointed out, he has contributed big time behind the plate in what has been a very long game with a lot of pitches. There has been 1 half inning today where the offense has gone down 1-2-3. Now there's been an inning where only 3 batters came to the plate, but as far as 3 batters, 3 outs, inning over, we've only had 1 of those in now 13 half innings. And so that catcher has to hold his concentration for a long time.
You said it beautifully at the start. Nothing you want more than a fast working ground ball pitcher after a night game on a getaway day.
Out at second, and a double play. Not an easy one. That began with a long throw from the third baseman Muncy to second baseman Walton, and Walton didn't have a lot of time.
No, he certainly didn't. Michael Massey bearing down on Walton at second base, but high hopper to Muncy. Good throw, good exchange. It's good to be reminded what a 3-hour game feels like from time to time. You know, we live in this lap of luxury of 235, 240, an occasional 205. We've seen a few of those this season.
And I'll confess that is something that I presented to Matt Quatrero in the pregame radio interview today, that you always will take a quick worker who pitches to contact, but especially in a day game after a night game on August the 20th. He agreed with me, by the way. No balls and 2 strikes on Nick Lofton, but it is 6-2 right now, but a few little things happening here or there, and it could be 9-7.
Absolutely.
Considering how many base runners we've had. Chop foul, still 0-2 on Lofton, who has an RBI triple today. One and two. I remember Scott Blewett got 2 welcome to the big leagues moments in one. On his first big league pitch against the Brewers, Avisail Garcia hit a really good pitch and hit it hard. And Nicky Lopez made a great defensive play to save him. And he had a comment after the game, which was classic. It was something along the lines of, I guess in the big leagues they hit pitches like that really hard, and I guess in the big leagues they make really good defensive plays on hard hit balls.
Yes, they do, both ways.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Lofton.
My very first big league outing, talking about Omar Vizquel, had a runner on first base and gave up a ground ball, and I don't think I've ever seen a quicker turn on a double play than that of Omar Vizquel.
Welcome to the big leagues.
From anywhere.
Do you have what it takes to be the next Royals TV Capital Federal Junior Broadcaster? Visit Royals.com/junior broadcaster to enter. And maybe that little guy has had his first Royals game, but what he probably will always remember is walking around the concourse with Dad, swinging that mini bat.
Absolutely, the mini bat. My sons love the mini bats.
John Schreiber throws a strike. He'll get the lower third of the order in the A's 8th inning.
51st game. It's 25 at home, where he has a 1.07 ERA.
Hooking to the side wall, and Collins was there, but it hits the net on the way down.
How about that? From bullpen pitchers, Schreiber's 107 is the 5th best home ERA in Major League Baseball. Tough on righties. .57 batting average against. Continues to be a workhorse for Matt Quatraro and the Royals bullpen.
Oh, and 2 on Servin. Hit hard to center. Tolbert again fights the sun, but he's got it. Sunglasses on, glove out in front of his eyes. 1 away.
That's nicely done by Tyler Tolbert. It's one thing to shade your eyes when you're stationary, but to have to run back on a baseball and find that perfect angle as you advance. Really well done by Tyler.
Donovan Walton with 1 out. He has a walk, a double, and an RBI. And he had a key at bat in the 5th inning. Royals had a nice lead at the time, but with 1 out, the A's received 3 base runners on walks, and then Brian Servin singled in a run, and Matt Quatraro brought on Connor Thomas with Walton up. And Walton, the way he swung the bat in the series, had a chance to get a big hit and draw the A's closer, but he ended up grounding out and driving in just 1 run. Now Rave uses his left hand to shade his eyes from the sun, and there are 2 outs in the 8th. Today's copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals. Outside, ball one on Daryl Hernandez, as this game is starting to settle itself down after all the base runners. There have been a total of 33 base runners today. 1 ball, 1 strike. So when we say it's a low scoring game, it's 6-2. It's because what could have been 33 base runners. Both teams have left 10 on base. And even though you, for the most part, wouldn't call today a well pitched game, they have pitched well when they've needed to. The Royals are 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position. The A's are 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position.
And the pitching's been competitive in the tough situations.
Royals pitchers have retired 9 of the last 10. Going back to Connor Thomas in the 5th inning. Still 2-2. Three and 2. Top of the order, and Henry Bolte waiting on deck. Jammed him. Good pitch. Lofton charges to the grass and throws just in time. So make it Royals pitching has retired 10 of the last 11. And the A's agree with that. And we head to the bottom of the 8th. The Royals lead 6-2.
It's time for the Miller Lite moment. We'll go back to the 1st inning. Bobby Witt Jr. fastball up in the zone. Number 16 on the season, 3rd in his last week. Good to see Bobby Witt Jr. supplying some power.
And accomplishing some firsts in this series. And it is a 4-game series, but he has reached 11 times and scored 8 runs in a series for the first time in his career. Ball one from Scott Blewett. Altogether 6 hits, 2 home runs, 4 walks, hit by a pitch a couple of nights ago, a stolen base, 8 runs scored, and 5 RBIs. Tough hop, and Muncy got a glove on it, but that's it. That should be a hit. And Bobby is on base for a 12th time in the series.
Another hard hit ball. One hopper, 95-mile-an-hour exit velo. Muncy just trying to figure out where that hop is going to go. Tough to judge it. If you don't field it cleanly with Bobby Witt Jr. running, you have no chance.
That was ruled an error.
Can I borrow your pencil?
I wrote down base hit immediately. I'm going to leave that there. 105 off the bat with overspin. And the third baseman trying to make a short hop pick. John Rave today entered the game early. Michael Garcia came out with a left hamstring injury while he was running the bases in the bottom of the 1st. That's fouled away. We were talking about Michael earlier in the year when he came out of the game early running the bases in Texas. That was actually his right hamstring. So he's had issues with both hamstrings this season, in addition to his hand injury, which actually did put him on the injured list. So we hope for the best with the hamstring this late in the season. And I say that because there's a reason why they call this the dog days of the season. It's hot. There typically aren't a lot of off days. The season is getting long to this point. Every muscle probably aches somewhat, and it's not the first time that a nagging injury or a nagging muscle becomes an injured muscle this time of year.
Are you saying that dogs have a lot of sore muscles, or that, like, what are you saying there?
I don't know where that expression comes from.
You just said that's where it comes from. And then you started to give me that good solid explanation. You said sore muscle. I'm going to look at my dog today. I'm going to go back and say, Gizmo, your hammy's banging up a little bit.
It's August.
It's August. Dog days. I bet we got a guy here that can figure it out for us.
Ah. I know what it means now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the dog days is in reference from Sirius, the dog star. And in ancient times, Greeks and Romans noticed that this bright star rose right next to the sun during the hardest part of the summer, and they thought the star added extra heat to the sun.
So it's like a reference to the hottest days, if you will.
Correct. Which just happens to be the tail end of the baseball season.
A strikeout from Blewett. Well, tomorrow we'll get a chance to see Noah Cameron, his first start since his first career shutout. Look how good he has been. His last 5 games, a 1.19 ERA. I had a chance to sit down and talk with Noah Cameron, talk about the season, his adjustments, just how much he's gaining confidence as he continues to work during this season that has been a great season for him overall. He's come back from a tough stretch, and my, has he been good the last few starts.
And I'm sure everyone is wondering a little bit, at least a little bit, how he's going to bounce back from 115 pitches this late in the season.
I think one of the biggest surprises about Noah Cameron is his size. He's a big boy. He's a horse. Played soccer, basketball in high school. He's a hit up the middle.
And a double play, and a nifty double play turned by Walton, Hernandez, and McNeil, which takes us to the 9th inning, and the Royals are 3 outs away from a 4-game sweep.
2027 Telluride.
Royals leading 6-2 in the 9th inning. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery getting ready for Royals postgame. They often say pitchers, when they don't have their best stuff, find a way to still get it done, the good ones. What would you make? How would you describe Randy Dobnak today?
I would say that is somewhat of a bend, don't break outing, kind of a high wire act, but you got to give him credit. He made some really big pitches when he needed to, especially the double play ball.
All right, as Nate Pearson comes on to face the first batter, we'll let you know that if the Royals win this one, and it's going to be 1 pitch and 1 out, the last time that they swept the A's in a 4-game series. Monty had 3 of the saves in that series, and there were some big-name pitchers: Mark Gubicza, David Cohn, Kevin Apier. What do you remember?
I remember it's part of a 14-game winning streak that we had going on just before the strike.
And this is the first 5-game winning streak if they get it. So 9 more to go, guys, and we'll see what happens.
And if I may add, fellas, Bobby Witt Sr. pitched in that series for the A's. I don't know if that means anything or not, but
we should have invited him and Monty to pitch this game. A nice little throwback.
Pitch ball, the catcher's challenging.
ABS is powered by T-Mobile, and Luke Maley was incorrect.
Kansas City has no challenges.
So the Royals lose their 2nd challenge. Nate Pearson. Those are his combined numbers with the Astros and the Royals. With the Royals, he has given up just 1 run in 10 innings. He's given up 1 run in 10 2/3 innings as McNeil grounds out, and there are 2 away.
With the Royals, we've seen that fastball tick up and get triple digits a couple of times. Shown much better command. Good breaking ball. I mean, he has looked like a back-end reliever. The Royals are really fortunate to have acquired him when they did. Could be a big part of the future of this bullpen that's desperately looking for arms that can contribute not only this season, but next season.
Zach Geloff is 0 for 3 with a walk. One and one.
Just looks hard the way it comes out of his hand. High effort, I would say. Gets into his body, really uses it, finds that kinetic energy to generate good hand speed.
Backhanded by Lofton in time, and the Royals sweep a 4-game series over the A's. And going back to the Angels series, the Royals have won 5 in a row. They have won 6 of their last 7. They have won 14 of their last 18 at Kauffman Stadium. They're now 3 games over 500 at home, by the way, this year. And they have improved to 17 and 15 since the All-Star break.
Well, I think offensively this series, they scored 28 runs in the 4 games, 9 twice, 6 and 4. A lot of base hits with runners in scoring position. We saw some big swings, some home runs. We like to see that from the offense. We already know what this pitching staff can do, at least from the starting rotation. So start to combine that with some timely hitting. It equates to a lot of wins.
Well, it was a very unique game when you account for all the base runners and it being just a 6-2 game. Randy Dobnak did not go the minimum 5 innings to qualify for a win, but he did something today that no American League starter has done since 1932, and that is allow 10 or more base runners in 4 innings or fewer and not allow a single run.
Listen, he made big pitches when he had to. A couple of strikeouts with men on base, bases loaded. Nice double play against Henry Bolte, the first and second, nobody out. So he probably worked a lot harder than he had to. When he had to make the big pitch, he was able to do it.
Connor Thomas got his first professional win today. Let's go down to Bridget.
Well, Ryan, Bobby Witt Jr. just loves a post-game interview, especially this series. It seems like, Bobby, 5 straight wins for you guys. What is standing out to you about this group and the current streak you guys are on?
You know, we're going out there, we're digging, we're trying to enjoy the moment and just taking it one day at a time.
You had an impressive series, but today you continued it, 2 for 4, a homer. How are you feeling at the plate right now? It seems like ever since you came off the IL, you've been in a groove.
Feel pretty good. You know, just trying to enjoy the game, play the game.
Bad time to turn, but you're just enjoying the game right now?
Yeah, just having fun, you know. Get to come to the yard every day. We're working hard in there just to try to, you know, put together some wins.
Everyone has been coming up clutch for this group. It seems like just everyone in the lineup, whether it was Tolle the other night, Rave last night, Salvi, Massey today, Isaac Collins. How are you seeing everyone contribute 1 through 9 in this lineup?
Yeah, we're just playing good baseball, you know. We're just trying to play the game the right way, play the game hard, prepare the way we do in there, and then just go out there and compete.
It's felt like there's been a new energy, maybe a little new life, confidence in this group this series. Are you feeling that?
Yeah, we're just ready to compete, ready to go out there and play our game and enjoy every moment.
First 4-game sweep of the A's for the Royals since 1994. It was a fun week. Bobby, thanks for the time.
Thank you. Let's keep rolling.
Back to you, Ryan.
All right. Best way to put it. Let's just keep rolling.
Indeed. Let this offense keep doing its thing.
He is rolling. On base 12 times in the series, and he scored 8 runs. Tomorrow, the Tigers are in town, and our coverage begins at 6:30 with Royals pregame. For director Steve Kurtenbach, producer
Guard. One moment stand out for you today in which you were able to do it that pretty much the whole, you know, all 4 innings, but one moment stand out in which you were able to really bear down.
I got my first 2 double plays of the year today. So that was cool in the first inning. I got the first one, and then the one to Bolte was pretty huge. I wouldn't say anything specifically stood out, but kind of just, trusting my stuff out there. You're going to have days where you don't really have it, and that's just part of the game.
And in the end, as he said, they won. What about Connor Thomas, who has looked good in his first couple appearances as a Royal, and his first big league win? Congrats.